Oh, you can keep these. I shouldn't have taken, I took one of the other day.
Oh, okay.
As I was telling at least one of your classmates, those are for you for 20 years from now to look at and make sure that you have advanced in speaking effectiveness. But if you're really hard up for a gift for a child on a birthday, you could also wrap it and say, here, do you want to make fun of mom? Smell it, your company?
Sprint myself.
Sprint. Let's see. Can the breakup of Ma Bell have created any problems more so than those faced by Sprint and Bell?
Well, at a time when technology could have been but a dream for many Americans, it became reality for two, who had innovation as their drive, placing Leroy Brown and Carlos Ferrando Jr. In 1898, Bell South was a major competitor for the approaching telephone device, and these two men soon created the Brown Telephone Company in Abilene, Kansas. The exciting times soon came crashing when the Brown Telephone Company filed for bankruptcy in 1938. But after this time of recovery, the light began to shine for the new United Telecommunications, formerly known as the Brown Telephone Company in 1972. Going from then Brown Company to what we know now as Sprint Nextel came with numerous changes. The new ideas rose from the United, sparking a new interest in long-distance service. For one, the actual name came from Sprint, came from the people of the country. And through a nationwide competition, a much-needed new name after a mix-up with MCI, and having a similar idea, as well as a name that closely resembled theirs, which at the time was Excunet. The winning entry, better known as Sprint, came from the acronym that stands for the Southern Pacific Railroad Intelligent Network of Telecommunications, which came from a railroad system which provided the long-distance service at that time. And the booming Sprint network soon spread to the largest areas of the country, which were New York, Boston, Los Angeles, San Diego, Anaheim, and Philadelphia. The Sprint company soon attained the PCS name in 1995 and was located in 18 states. And by joining forces with several cable companies, their wireless service received the new name of Sprint PCS in the Baltimore metropolitan area, and in this area was the first to do so nationally. Sprint is committed to the belief that we share the responsibility to conduct business in a socially and environmentally responsible manner. This comes from what Sprint believes to be the corporate responsibility. The confident statement is backed in part by the Sprint Character Education Grant Program, in which they reach out to the community and in ways that are vital to the image of the company, which influence the interests of potential customers. These grants range from anywhere from $500 to $25,000 that go towards schools which exemplify the great aspects of the top educational program, which benefit both students and teachers. Not only is this one large program that Sprint takes much pride in, but the company also has a very extensive community relations program where they focus on volunteerism, community advisory councils, donation and loan programs, as well as the philanthropic Sprint Foundation. And in this area, they focus on cities such as Kansas City, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dallas, New York City, Chicago, Denver, and Los Angeles. And programs like these are just what Sprint stands for, and that is to help people talk less and do more. Go out and be a part of the world rather than controlling from behind the scenes. Sprint is genuine in its mission, just as it is in its daily philanthropy, business, and service. Emerging with Nextel is another great example of Sprint taking initiative and displaying their most important aspect of their business, which is innovation. Merging in 2005 and becoming the name that we hear today in 2010, Sprint Nextel brought out the presence of the 4G network, something that this company takes much pride in. And though Sprint Nextel is behind AT&T and Verizon, their 4G coverage is the first of its kind for any of the wireless companies, and this move has separated them from the field. Sprint has just experienced its own controversy in 2008 through 2009, where they had accusations of information being shared through GPS locations with the federal government, without the surveillance warrant that came and damaged credibility. This assistance to the government is a minor setback for the company, but the perception of the company in the eyes of the customer is what is most important. Now, what can Sprint do to make sure their businesses are able to stay in touch with their customers? And how can Sprint Nextel work better to make sure that the University of Richmond student in Colorado is able to receive their emails when they're interviewing for their dream job? But remember, just like people, there are no perfect companies, and everyone goes through a little rough patch in their lifetime. But what makes them great is their ability to bounce back and show the country that Sprint is still #1 in innovation. And just as Sprint Nextel would say, let's do more and talk less. Customers still have the ability to surf the internet at super high speeds and share information that's quicker with a nation's only 4G network than ever before, and at the time save this and have the same reassurance that they will be receiving the best customer service from any telephone company service provider and make their lives easier.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Samantha.